I want to share with you a hilarious and potentially sad story, and it took place in a McDonald's bathroom. Years ago, I was at a high school band competition helping out. Now, usually these competitions, you get up to the school, get loaded up before the sun rises, and you're on the road as early as possible, because you want to make it there with enough time to run through the show in an empty field or parking lot before the performance. The show went great, the band did an amazing job as usual, and it was time to pack up and head west, young man. But in this case, we were heading south, and it was a mix of men and women. We were all hungry after the competition and stopped off at a McDonald's to fulfill our appetites with the famous and genetically modified menu. Now, after showing off my skills of eating a cheeseburger with 2 bites and downing a large Coke in the course of about 39 seconds, it was then I realized the trip home would not come to fruition without me first, Now, I have a very scientific method for handling my bathroom needs while out in public, and it goes as follows. If you don't eat or drink, you don't have to use the bathroom. Now, this theory, of course, is flawed, as sometimes nature has a way of calling its beauty at the most inconvenient of times. So, spoiler alert, I'm disabled, and certain physics are always at play. Mainly, I need help to use the bathroom. Now, in a perfect world, I would have 2 people help me. One would lift me, and the other would de-trouser me. I would, and then the process would reverse. One would lift, and the other would re-trouser me. Now, the whole process is quite efficient if all parties are 1, aware of the task, 2, on board with the task, and 3, understand the mechanics and, in my personal opinion, the most shocking visuals of the task. Now, one of my best friends was there, and he was/is trained in the art of the 2-man tag team. Wait, what? The lifting and the pulling down of the pants. The issue we faced was there was no one there who was qualified as being both male and over the age of 18 for obvious reasons, except for one of my best friend's new boyfriend, whom I had just met hours before. Now, if you're not friends with a disabled person, there's something you should know. It's actually the topic of this video. We, as disabled people, need willingness to exist in this world. And what I mean is, we need people who are willing to help us in situations where we're otherwise unable to help ourselves. You see, I love hanging out with friends, but I also have a biological need to use the bathroom. Now, there are a few options to choose from here. I could take someone with me everywhere I go. That's nice in theory, but let's be honest, what adult wants a babysitter? Another option, which is not an option, is I could get a catheter. No. Nope. No. I could wear adult diapers. This is an option, but I'm just not really there physically or emotionally to be able to do that. The last and most logical for me is to take a plastic urinal and have a friend help, or 2 friends if I need to do more than just pee. Most of the time I do really good at remembering my urinal, but on this fateful day, alas, I did not. So the 2-man was the only option I had. We voluntold the new guy of the evening's entertainment, and he seemed concerned. He may have even tried to get out an objection, but by the time he realized what was happening, I was suspended in the air with my backside nose level with him. Now, after a moment of hesitation, he realized that he was cornered in the stall, and pulling down both my pants and underwear was the only way to end the madness. So with shaky cold hands and a no longer innocent conscience, he did the deed. I was stripped half naked and placed gingerly on my throne away from home. Okay, so here's the deal. Pulling down my pants is the easy part. You can basically grab my waistband and pull. But pulling up my pants, that's a whole nother circus. There's hand-eye coordination, timing, finesse. Speaking of eyes, they have to stay open. If they're not, Christmas comes early for the both of us. Also, I'm pretty sure my great-great-grandfather was at least 1/8 Sasquatch, and that 1/8 manifested itself on my backside. Like, for real, I am so hairy back there. Usually I hand out a horse brush and a stick to part the wool waters just enough so they can see my undies to pull them up. Oh, Isaac, It can't be that bad. Have you ever clogged a public toilet with your butt hair? But I digress. He did it. He owned up to it. He grabbed the pants, missed the punching bag, and before I knew it, I was fully clothed and in my wheelchair. We all washed our hands, gave the old good game, and we were back in the general public. And that's when I noticed his face. He was quiet. His countenance had fallen, and he looked shook. My friends and I all looked at each other and we thought, oh, new guy. Obviously he'd bounce back. Nope, not at all. He broke up with her. Now, I'm not so self-centered to say that their relationship met demise because of me, but I ain't not saying it. And thus we arrive at the moral of the story. Disabled people need help, but not all people are built for care. And that's okay. I mean, the first time you help someone with a disability is oftentimes awkward, especially if it's a personal need like bathing or using the bathroom. But I want to let you in on something. There's more to the uncomfortable than just what you, the helper, sees. And it's summed up in one word: humility. It takes humility to ask for help. It takes humility to admit you need to ask for help. And unfortunately, sometimes it's humiliating to have someone help you. I know what it's like to be fed. I know what it's like to be bathed. I know what it's like to be cleaned after using the bathroom. I can't think of anything that degrades self-confidence or self-worth more. But let me tell you something. Having people to share that with, people who understand, people who are willing to go into a McDonald's bathroom that has the stall door removed, knowing that yes, it's going to be awkward. Yes, people are going to stare. And yes, that is my friend, and I'm going to help him. If you get that chance to be that person, please, I encourage you, take it. Speaking of the two-man tag team, I gotta call it something else. Speaking of the two-man tag team, I used to go to a summer camp for kids with muscular dystrophy. And then when I aged out, I went back as a counselor. And every time I had to pee, I would grab some guys and we'd head to the bathroom. It was this awkward, small, triangular room, just big enough for a toilet and a sink. And we barely fit in it. There was this ledge that went around the room, just wide enough for them to sit on. But since the room was so small, it meant that all of our knees were touching. And we dubbed the peeing experience potty talk. And we told fun, embarrassing stories or relationship pointers, or we ragged on each other. And it was so fun. And it completely took everyone's mind off the fact that my disability is real. And it sucks. But it doesn't have to control my mindset or steal my happiness. In the midst of humbling myself and asking for help to use the bathroom, I was also humbled to have these amazing men help share the burden. For a few moments, we were all just hanging out, sharing a fun experience. And it just so happened to be me peeing. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you'd like to see more, please subscribe and hit that notification bell. Then YouTube can let you know when I have a new video out. Also, I want to let you know that I have a podcast with one of my best friends. It's called Man vs. Wheelchair, and you can find the link in the description below. Take care.